the fact that I'm very, very, very blessed, man. You see,
Smokey Robinson, at 85, is a living testament to the power of music, resilience, and memory. He has spent a lifetime creating songs that have shaped generations, yet he has also endured the weight of survival as the world he helped define slowly fades. His music continues to connect deeply with people, offering comfort, hope, and understanding, while the friends, collaborators, and voices of his era have quietly disappeared. The story is not just about fame or talent, it is about a man who lived through loss, addiction, triumph, and aging, learning along the way that life's most profound gifts often come through endurance and authenticity. Smokey's journey reminds us that survival, legacy, and emotional connection matter as much as chart-topping hits or public acclaim, creating a portrait of a life both extraordinary and profoundly human. Early life in Detroit. Smokey Robinson was born into a Detroit of contrasts, a city bustling with ambition, yet quiet with struggle. Factories filled the air with smoke, and dreams were as easily crushed as they were forged. Growing up in the North End, a working-class neighborhood, Smokey experienced a close-knit community where families shared space, money was scarce, and music seeped through the cracks of everyday life. Radios brought blues, gospel, and rhythm and blues into small apartments, offering escape and inspiration to a young boy with wide, sensitive eyes. It was a city that demanded resilience, but also provided fertile ground for creativity. In this environment, Smokey's sensitivity found expression in observation and imagination. He listened closely to the world around him, internalizing the hopes, disappointments, and joys of those near him. Music, which entered his life as entertainment, quickly became a lifeline and a language through which he could process the complexities of growing up in a challenging urban landscape. The combination of struggle and culture shaped him profoundly, laying the foundation for his artistry and empathy, while instilling a lifelong sense of purpose in telling stories through song. The loss of his mother. Flossie. Robinson, Smokey's mother, was a guiding presence in his early life. She offered warmth, encouragement, and a belief in the power of words. She nurtured his curiosity, teaching him to read, imagine, and engage with language in a way that would later become the foundation for his lyrical genius. Her death, when Smokey was just 10, left an unfillable void, a wound that influenced the emotional depth of his music for decades. The young boy, suddenly stripped of his sense of safety, turned to music not just as pleasure, but as survival. Singing became a way to navigate grief, a method to transform sorrow into expression. His older sister, Geraldine, stepped in to provide structure and care, but the loss forced Smokey to mature quickly. He learned to carry emotion quietly, to find solace in melodies when words failed, and to translate personal tragedy into something universal. This early encounter with mortality shaped both his perspective on life and the emotional authenticity of his music. From this formative moment, Smokey understood that art could heal, connect, and give voice to feelings too complex for speech, a truth that would define his career. Finding music as refuge. Music became Smokey Robinson's refuge and survival tool. From hours spent listening to records by Nolan Strong, Clyde McPhatter, and Billy Ward, he absorbed phrasing, harmonies, and emotional nuance as if studying a living textbook. Singing along, experimenting with tone, and practicing tirelessly, he discovered that music could channel the most private and difficult emotions. Even in school, Smokey's observational skills shaped his future songwriting. He paid attention to people's expressions of love, longing, and disappointment, noticing subtleties that others overlooked. These observations became the foundation for lyrics that would resonate across generations. Music was no longer a hobby, it was a lifeline, a conduit for understanding both himself and the world. By internalizing the rhythms, cadences, and emotional honesty of other artists, he built a toolkit that allowed him to translate raw feelings into songs that could speak to millions. His early engagement with music created empathy and emotional intelligence. teaching him to see the depth in small moments and the universality of human experience, skills that would define his artistry and distinguish his voice for decades to come. Forming the Matadors, by his teenage years, Smokey Robinson was ready to step beyond solitary practice. He formed his first vocal group, the Five Chimes, which evolved into the Matadors. The young group rehearsed wherever possible, from basements to hallways, pursuing harmony and cohesion with tireless persistence. Success was uncertain, and Detroit offered few paths out of working-class expectations. Yet Smokey envisioned more than a local singing career. He wanted to write songs that would outlast immediate circumstances and resonate across time. These early years, though marked by modest living and grief, forged his greatest skill: empathy. Every lyric he would later write, exploring love, heartache, and longing, was rooted in this period of observation, struggle, and meticulous study. Smokey's time with the Matadors taught discipline, collaboration, and creative focus, preparing him for the opportunities that would soon arise. This formative stage highlights his capacity to translate personal experiences into universal emotion, laying the groundwork for the timeless music that would define both him and the Motown sound. Discovery, by Berry Gordy Fate, arrived quietly in Detroit when Berry Gordy Jr. encountered Smokey Robinson and the Matadors. Gordy recognized not just a talented singer, but a songwriter whose lyrics demonstrated emotional maturity far beyond his years. Smokey carried a notebook of meticulously written songs, reflecting love, longing, and empathy that resonated with universal truths. Gordy saw in him the potential to be the creative anchor of a movement, not merely a performer. This meeting became a turning point, transforming the trajectory of both their lives. Smokey's early work ethic, observation skills, and emotional intelligence aligned perfectly with Gordy's vision for Motown. Their partnership established the foundation of a label that would redefine American music, blending innovation with a deep understanding of human feeling. Gordy's faith in Smokey was rooted in more than talent. It was trust in his capacity to connect, to guide, and to shape soundscapes that spoke to listeners across racial and cultural boundaries. The encounter illustrates how opportunity meets preparation, and how vision and empathy can create cultural revolutions when paired with hard work and authenticity. Motown's rise. When Smokey Robinson joined Motown in 1959, the Matadors became the Miracles, and a cultural revolution quietly began. Smokey's contributions went beyond performance. He was a songwriter, mentor, and eventually a vice president, helping steer the label's artistic and commercial direction. Motown's sound, characterized by soulful melodies, smooth harmonies, and emotionally precise lyrics, reflected Smokey's sensibilities. Hits like Shop Around demonstrated his talent for intimate storytelling, conveying love in a confiding, personal tone rather than a grandiose or flashy manner. Smokey's role at Motown was both creative and operational. He nurtured younger artists, produced records, and maintained the emotional cohesion of the label. The success of Motown owed much to his ability to combine lyrical nuance with managerial discipline. This period exemplifies the paradox of brilliance. While he provided comfort and joy through music for millions, he also absorbed immense responsibility, navigating expectations, deadlines, and the growing pressures of fame. His influence shaped Motown into an enduring institution that still resonates culturally and emotionally decades later, illustrating the power of artistry combined with vision and leadership. Songwriting genius. Smokey Robinson's genius lay in his ability to write songs that felt effortless but communicated profound truths. Works like My Girl for the Temptations and My Guy for Mary Wells carried emotional clarity, gentle imagery, and universal resonance. His lyrics captured complex feelings simply, allowing listeners to feel understood and seen. This skill was not innate alone. It developed from years of attentive observation, personal loss, and disciplined study of music and human behavior. As a songwriter, he built empathy into melody, transforming personal insight into collective experience. His work became the blueprint for countless artists, proving that sincerity and subtlety could resonate louder than spectacle. Smokey's creative output extended beyond his own performances, shaping the entire Motown label and the sound of an era. His capacity to translate internal emotion into widely relatable art is a hallmark of enduring music, demonstrating that authenticity, sensitivity, and precision in songwriting are as crucial as vocal talent in creating timeless work. Balancing fame and responsibility. Success brought immense responsibility. As vice president of Motown, Smokey was not only performing but mentoring, producing, and managing the careers of rising stars. This dual role amplified pressure, creating a constant balancing act between public expectation and personal creativity. While audiences saw elegance and composure, behind the scenes, he navigated sleepless nights, exhaustive studio sessions, and touring that demanded months away from home. His personal life, including his marriage, suffered under these strains, highlighting the unseen toll of achievement. The boy who once sang to survive now carried the emotional weight of an entire label, demonstrating that creative brilliance often requires personal sacrifice. This period illustrates how extraordinary talent and dedication can coincide with profound vulnerability, showing that sustaining innovation and care for others often comes at the cost of personal energy and private happiness. Smokey's example underscores the human reality behind legend. Success may shine outwardly, but it is accompanied by complex, sometimes painful, internal negotiation. Personal loss and marriage. Strain, touring, work pressures, and the demands of Motown weighed heavily on Smokey's personal life. His marriage to Claudette Rogers, a fellow miracle, endured immense strain as the couple faced prolonged absences, personal grief, and repeated loss, including miscarriages. Despite his public image as calm and graceful, Smokey internalized guilt and sorrow, learning to hide vulnerability while fulfilling the expectations placed upon him as both artist and executive. Writing love songs for the world contrasted with his private challenges, illustrating the bittersweet tension between artistic expression and lived experience. These experiences shaped his emotional depth, informing lyrics that resonated across audiences and generations. Through this, Smokey developed profound empathy, understanding the complexity of human emotion in ways that few could replicate. The strain of balancing personal relationships with public responsibility is central to his story, demonstrating that even extraordinary talent cannot insulate a person from the costs of fame, grief, and human imperfection. His life shows that endurance, rather than perfection, defines the human heart. Addiction and recovery. The pressures of constant work and personal loss eventually led Smokey Robinson into substance dependence. Cocaine initially offered relief, a temporary means to quiet fatigue and emotional strain. Over time, it threatened his health, relationships, and career, becoming a near-fatal challenge. Recognizing the peril, Smokey undertook a profound reckoning, turning toward faith and surrender as anchors for recovery. This phase reflects not weakness, but the courage required to confront addiction honestly and deliberately. Recovery reshaped his life, instilling humility and renewed purpose while leaving permanent scars as reminders of survival. The process transformed him, deepening the emotional resonance in his music. His journey through dependence and redemption highlights resilience as a defining human trait and demonstrates the power of confronting one's limits to emerge stronger. Smokey's example provides both caution and inspiration, showing that enduring hardship does not erase creativity or love. It can strengthen them when paired with accountability, reflection, and support. Solo career and new challenges. After stepping away from the miracles, Smokey Robinson faced both opportunity and uncertainty in his solo career. Officially, the move was about family and leadership focus, but it also represented an attempt to reclaim creative joy and personal identity. Success followed, but the solitude highlighted ongoing internal struggles. Fame amplified both achievement and emptiness, reminding him that applause alone cannot satisfy the soul. The challenges of reinvention forced him to navigate identity beyond group dynamics, balancing the weight of legacy with artistic evolution. His solo career demonstrates how growth often requires stepping away from established roles, confronting both opportunity and vulnerability, and discovering new ways to connect with audiences while managing personal expectation. It reflects the interplay between professional reinvention and emotional survival, highlighting that artistry is intertwined with personal courage and continual adaptation. Enduring through time. As decades passed, Smokey Robinson experienced the slow erosion of his era. Colleagues, collaborators, and friends passed away, leaving him as one of the few witnesses to Motown's golden years. Marvin Gaye, Michael Jackson, Aretha Franklin, names synonymous with musical history, left gaps that no performance could fill. Smokey carried the memories of these relationships, the harmonies, laughter, and shared creativity, preserving an entire cultural moment within himself. Survival became both a blessing and a burden. He continued performing while standing as one of the last living bridges to an era that shaped American music. His endurance underscores the bittersweet reality of longevity. It is a reminder that while creativity and influence can outlast individuals, the human connections that fuel them are fragile and transient. Smokey's experience exemplifies how witnessing history firsthand can be simultaneously rewarding and isolating, offering insight into the cost of remaining present when time and mortality inevitably claim the world one once knew intimately. Aging and musical adaptation. Age has subtly altered Smokey Robinson's voice and physical presence on stage. His falsetto, once effortlessly crystalline, has softened, occasionally trembling, requiring him to adjust keys and modify performances. Yet audiences respond with deep appreciation, valuing intimacy and emotional authenticity over technical perfection. Smokey has accepted these changes with grace, embracing the limitations of the human body while allowing the emotional power of his music to continue reaching listeners. His approach illustrates the wisdom of adaptation, showing that artistry evolves alongside life, and that emotional resonance often transcends technical skill. Aging does not diminish meaning, it transforms it. Smokey's performances today carry a reflective quality, inviting audiences to experience music through the lens of lived time, endurance, and nuanced understanding. This adaptation highlights resilience, humility, and acceptance, offering lessons in how to honor one's craft even as the body inevitably changes. Confronting mortality, the COVID-19 pandemic brought Smokey face-to-face with mortality. At 80, he contracted the virus and nearly died, confronting a stark reality beyond fame, music, or accolades. This period reinforced the preciousness of life and survival, reminding him that even legends must contend with vulnerability. The experience instilled gratitude and a heightened awareness of each moment. Smokey's reflection on survival emphasizes the human truth that life is fragile and that endurance is a gift rather than a guarantee. It also shaped his perspective on legacy, encouraging focus on the emotional impact of his music rather than public recognition. The encounter with illness serves as a poignant reminder that mortality is universal, and that even those who seem larger than life must navigate fear, uncertainty, and recovery with courage and humility. For Smokey, this episode reinforced the profound value of breathing, creating, and connecting, highlighting the emotional richness of simply continuing to exist. Living with legacy, Smokey Robinson's legacy is not defined by trophies or chart success alone, but by the emotional connections he has forged. Generations continue to dance, cry, and reflect through his music, demonstrating its enduring resonance. Yet carrying this legacy comes with solitude, as many collaborators and peers have passed away. Smokey lives at the intersection of history and the present, simultaneously celebrated and isolated. He reflects on time lost with family, relationships strained by touring, and moments when pursuit of perfection cost presence. These reflections underscore the human side of legend, illustrating that legacy is a living, sometimes heavy, responsibility. Smokey approaches this with humility, emphasizing the importance of emotional truth and connection over accolades. His perspective teaches that the impact of art is measured not in fame or awards, but in the intimate ways it touches hearts and shapes personal experiences across generations. Gratitude and faith. In later years, faith became a quiet yet sustaining force for Smokey Robinson. Beyond dramatic recovery, spirituality provided companionship and reassurance during moments of isolation and reflection. Gratitude for survival, music, and human connection replaced the need for public validation. Smokey's approach reflects a profound maturity, emphasizing presence, awareness, and appreciation over achievement. Aging and loss brought clarity to what truly matters: emotional authenticity, shared humanity, and enduring relationships. He models a life where gratitude and faith are interwoven with creativity, illustrating that the most lasting legacy arises from integrity, empathy, and connection, rather than fame or recognition. Smokey's perspective encourages reflection on how values evolve over time, and how survival, gratitude, and resilience define the richness of life beyond public accomplishment. Teaching through music. Smokey Robinson's songs continue to teach emotional literacy. He has shown generations how to navigate love, heartbreak, longing, and joy without apology. His work allows listeners to process emotions safely, offering empathy and insight through melody. Beyond entertainment, his music functions as a guide for human experience, translating complex feelings into relatable expression. This educational quality underscores the depth of his artistry, demonstrating that the power of music lies in emotional connection. Smokey's influence is enduring not merely because of popularity, but because he has cultivated an understanding of emotional nuance that resonates universally. Through his songs, audiences learn the value of vulnerability, tenderness, and authenticity in personal relationships, showing that music can shape not just culture, but the emotional capacity of generations. Survival and endurance. At 85, Smokey Robinson embodies survival and endurance. He has witnessed the disappearance of his era, outlived peers, and endured personal and professional trials. Yet he continues to perform, share, and inspire. Survival is not passive. It is an active engagement with life, memory, and creativity. Each performance becomes an act of preservation, a testament to resilience and the emotional continuity of his work. Smokey's life illustrates that endurance carries both sorrow and beauty. He has learned that lasting influence arises not only from success, but from the capacity to endure loss, evolve through challenges, and maintain empathy and emotional clarity over decades. His example underscores the strength required to navigate both longevity and the isolation that often accompanies it, demonstrating the power of commitment, love, and human connection in sustaining a life that continues to impact others deeply.